Hi, and a very warm welcome to Wellbeing Mission Control. Delighted you could join me. One of the subjects we've been discussing is the way that we perceive reality. The latest research into human consciousness has come up with some really strange conclusions. In fact, the models are so strange that they're very, very difficult to understand with our conscious minds, because they're telling us that the world that we perceive, that we experience, is actually a projection. Can you imagine that? A projection of whatever's going on in our consciousness. It's a very strange thought. It's very, very difficult to grasp, but it does have an underlying practical application, because if the models, which are very, very difficult to refute, if the models are accurate and are showing that we are actually creating this version of reality, then it's a perfect invitation for us to make some subtle adjustments, to make some shifts in our thoughts, in our feelings, in our behavior, in the way that we generate the world around us. In ancient times, philosophers were fond of repeating that the world is a mirror in which we see ourselves reflected, that we're constantly projecting mental, emotional energy from our hearts, from our minds, whatever you wish to choose. And this is the reality that we are creating. But if that's the case, and that's what the research is strongly supporting, then we can make a conscious effort to produce something which is truly wonderful, beautiful, inspiring. In other words, the projection you create reflects the aspirations that you really want to see, perceive, and experience in the world. It's a wonderful thought. There are plenty of ancient traditions which have followed the same idea, that the world is essentially an illusion, that we are participating in. The problem is we're so accustomed to experiencing the world as if it has a separate identity, as if it is just something we experience rather than something that we're creating, that it just seems almost impossible that that could be true. The models I'm referring to suggest that it's actually an evolutionary advantage for us to see the world this way. I don't want to get into those complexities, but if you can accept the concept that we are all projecting our own version of reality, then I'd like to invite you to come up with a view of the world that makes you smile. I know the world seems to be as far from perfection as we could possibly get, but perhaps you can be the seed that starts something beautiful. You can be the source of something wonderful in the world. You can start to project something so beautiful, so wonderful, that the world becomes a better place just because of your presence. No pressure, but I think it's such a powerful thing to focus on, to utilize, that it'll have a direct and, in fact, a measurable impact on your health, your well-being, on the quality of your life. So that's my suggestion for today. It's something I'll come back to again in the future, because it's such a deep and powerful subject to explore that it has enormous benefits for each and every one of us who wants to participate in this awareness of how we're all creating the world in which we live, in the way we project energy onto the blank canvas, onto the raw material of the physical universe. What do you think? Did it sound crazy? Most researchers have just shaken their heads in disbelief, saying that's not possible. But the modelling, I'm afraid, is very, very difficult to refute. If it's a helpful idea, then let it be an encouragement to you to start to use your energy more positively, more creatively, so together we can create something truly worthwhile. Now, I'll be back for you again tomorrow, and I look forward to wishing you not just a wonderful day, but a wonderful week.